Hi everyone, and welcome to my next video for Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U. This is Chapter 12, the Lumen Sage. This chapter opens with one of my least favorite aspects of the Bayonetta series, and that is the vehicular and or riding sequences. In Bayonetta 1 you had a sort of a hang-on level where you're on a motorcycle, and then an Afterburner / Space Harrier stage later where you're flying, and those were my least favorite levels in the game. I just didn't like them. They were kind of cool at first for the I guess the nostalgia, but they overstayed their welcome and are ultimately, in my opinion, boring stages that kind of undermine the rest of the game. And this one is shorter, thankfully, and it looks really cool. There's tons of stuff going on. And for those who did notice it at the beginning when it shows the instructions for Climax Horse, which is this, I guess, minigame, it's done in the Excitebike style from the original NES and arcade. So that's a nice touch for Nintendo fans, and glad that they put that in there. I make a ton of mistakes. I left some of them in here just because this stage was a bit frustrating for me, and you know, I don't like that it is part of an overall chapter where you then have to fight a boss. You know, I would have liked these levels to just have been their own chapters, and that way you can play them on their own without having to go through them before a bigger fight. They just sort of seem like filler and almost meant to annoy you. So I didn't really care for this. I actually jumped off a cliff at the beginning several times because I thought you were supposed to, not seeing the path curling up the mountain to the left. Thankfully, you don't die from those falls, and you just lose some health and you continue on. And so after you get through this, here's the Lumen Sage, as the title suggests, and you save Loki from him. You have a bit of a fight, well, it's more of a one-sided fight, on top of your horse. And then this will take you to another rather long cutscene where you both turn into you turn into a bat, then you turn into your panther form. Same with him, he turns into this white wolf, and you take it to the second half of the stage, which is a fight with him. And here, I think for the first time in this game, if I'm not mistaken, he actually reveals who he is. Not a big surprise that it's Baldur from Bayonetta 1. Looking a little younger, a little different, and I think that this game does a pretty good job of bringing everything full circle. You'll learn more backstory as the next few chapters progress. But it makes it so that, you know, Bayonetta 2 feels complete, and there isn't really a need after this for a Bayonetta 3. And I think that's a good thing. I think that the two games combined provide about as good an experience as you're going to get from this series, both in terms of gameplay and its story, which, for the most part, I think the story is a bit nonsensical, but in Bayonetta 2 there is a bit more of a human element and an explanation for why things are the way they are and why certain characters don't like each other and vice versa. So I think that's good. I think there's a lot of things that are not explained or not thoroughly fleshed out, but I'll get to that as we get to the later chapters. So here you're facing off with Baldur, a bit reminiscent of Bayonetta 1, but I left a lot of this fight in just because I had such a good time with it. And I know I sound like a broken record if you've been keeping up with this series, but the fights you have with the human-like characters as opposed to the big bosses are some of the best in the game, and I think it's really where the combat shines. You know, the mob battles are fun and all, but these one-on-one battles are just excellent, with, you know, great effects, cool attacks, and just a an energy and speed that I have never experienced in an action game before. There's almost like this zen-like quality about the combat where you kind of almost tune out all of the distractions with the music and the background visuals, and even the graphics of the characters, and you really kind of feel the rhythm of these fights, and it becomes second nature on evading and countering and really using all the tools you have to defeat them. So highly satisfying. I'm afraid to play other action games after this just because I think they're going to seem like disappointments by comparison. So I think I'll play more Platinum games since I'm really impressed with this series. And so I've been purchasing other games like Mad World, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Vanquish, and the wonderful 101. So I have those 4 games to play, and I'm looking forward to it to see what other ideas they have and what they've come up with on other platforms and within the action genre. So anyway, that is Chapter 12, the Lumen Sage. I think I got Platinum on the second half, but a ugly silver on the first, so gold overall. Thanks for hanging out once again, and I will see you in Chapter 13. Just 4 more to go. Thanks, and have a good one.